Okay, so we're still doing our Q&A session. Go ahead, Jamie.
Oh, it's just in the chat.
All right, okay. So the question is, what advice would you have about a growing sense of Groundhog Day? The more, sorry, it's a bit obscured by the little icon there. The more our practice is stabilized and working through this. By Groundhog Day, do you mean it's just like repetitive, the same every day? Or do you mean that you begin to see how kind of repetitive samsara is? Do you mean the practice is just repetitive, it's always the same? Or do you mean the practice is helping you to see how repetitive samsara is? Did you want to pop that in the chat, Jamie? Seeing repetitiveness of samsara. Yeah. Well, the first thing I'd say is it is profoundly repetitive. I was thinking this just this morning. The profound repetitiveness of it. And because there's this great quote from Longchenpa where he says, this is paraphrasing, when you see the truth of things, sometimes all you can do is laugh, which is so profoundly ridiculous and repetitive, and it's just like a really badly conceived circus. Really, it's very strange. So that is considered a good sign to be able to see kind of how repetitive samsara is, how it's like just every day. Wake up, do these things, do those things. The mind wants this, the mind wants that. Do these various tasks that have to be fulfilled to, fulfill our obligations and societal norms and all that sort of stuff. So yes, it's profoundly repetitive. But I think it's a good thing to see that. And in the traditional teachings, they talk about developing a revulsion for samsara. So that is part of that, seeing the profound repetitive stupidity of it. And the other part of that is what they call the true heart of sadness. So to see the profound suffering over it in an unrelenting kind of way, to really see the unrelenting nature of the suffering. Those are the kind of two aspects of really becoming quite disillusioned with samsara. This is a very good thing. So I would suggest you don't need to work through it. And in fact, wanting to work through it might be a defense mechanism to try and reabsorb that experience into the dualistic mind's retinue of stuff it does. You know what I mean? So sometimes things happen and the dualistic mind tries to appropriate that as part of its shtick, part of its thing that it does. So I think my advice would be let it be, just let it be, and be okay with the mind-numbing repetitive nature of samsara. Don't try to alleviate that in any way, and don't try to push it away or apply any kind of dharma to make it better. Something that Jetson was always saying. Most of us don't want to escape prison. We just want a more comfortable jail cell, But so sometimes we can use the dharma to make the jail cell more comfortable, So I would suggest try not to do anything with that experience. Just let it be. Yeah. So Jaming's saying don't feed the wish to change and do different things, because that's fundamentally a samsaric wish. So Jaming is also saying that if you just leave it as is, just leave it. Don't try to intervene in any way. eventually a kind of a blissful joy arises, even though you're not suppressing that or trying to push it away or change it or anything. And that, I suppose, is the breaking through of the illusion, because samsara is in the mind and only in the mind. So that is a kind of breaking through that. The problem is when we think samsara is in the mind, we think, well, that means we need to change the mind to deal with samsara. But sometimes we just need to let it be and let it dissolve on its own. Sorry, I'm just listening to Gemma. Okay, so Jamming is saying that it can be about fear, the wish to deal with that issue, the just mind-numbing repetitiveness of it. It can be like, oh my God, is this my whole future? Is this what life is now? It's this mind-numbing repetition. But Jamming is saying that if you just let it be, don't try to intervene, don't try to change it, then the four immeasurables flower, and then your vision of the future will dissolve. Can you say that again, please? Yeah. So you're saying dwelling on the future is poison. So say that again. Yeah. Yeah. So dwelling on the future is poison. So just let it be and be here now. So be with it. Just let it be. And then eventually the four immeasurables will rise because that's their nature. And then that will destroy this samsaric vision of the future. Yeah. I think I got that right. Oh, he's in a different room, so it's hard to hear what he's saying. Say again. Yeah, so Jeremy's saying every yogi or yogini or yogin has at times a profound fear of the future, because I think, is this it? Is this my life now? This profound repetitive boredom. But you just have to be in the present, be in the now, and not try to hide from it or run away from it or push it away or embrace it. And eventually, like when you cut through that, it's quite a kind of like important moment. So yeah, he's saying it for all practitioners, it's a thing. Yeah. All right. Any follow-up questions? Go ahead, Jamyang. Did you want to say something else? Did you want to say something else? He's in a different room, just shouting like a ghost in the dark. Boredom is normal. Okay. One of the things that Jamyang has on his wall, which I find interesting and inspiring, because Jamyang puts a lot of pith instructions on like bits of paper that he sticks to the wall, is what's the one about everything is normal? Yeah. So the pith instruction is it is all normal. Because the minute you think something's abnormal, there's an urge to fix it, change it, correct it. So it's a really good idea to just go, it's all normal, and then there's no impulse to fix it, change it, correct it, or resist it or cling to it, because the minute we resist or cling, it gets stronger and more entrenched. But if we just go, oh, it's all normal, whatevs. So Jamie's saying that instruction, it is all normal. It's a very profound cutting through instruction, because it just brings you right back to the now. You go, okay, it makes you kind of okay with everything. It's, I suppose, a kind of a way of enacting equanimity. So any follow-up questions on that, along those lines, along that thread, before we finish up for the night? No? All right. So we'll wind this up then. I'll turn off the recording. Thanks everybody who's watching the recording. Oh, hang on, there's another message here. That's okay, Jamie. You're more than welcome. So we'll stop the recording here and then we'll do the closing prayer.